Hey y'all, we're going to take a look at the anatomy of the upper respiratory system. So that's everything from the nose down to the pharynx. We'll cover the lower respiratory system, the larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli of the lungs in another video. So when we breathe in, it's actually more ideal, if possible, to breathe in through your nose. If you breathe in through your nose, through your nostrils, that means there's more surface area that your air will cover versus breathing through your mouth. And by having air pass through more mucous membrane, that allows for more filtration, more heating, and more humidifying of that air. Air is not always pure, air is not always warm, air is not always humidified. It doesn't always have a lot of water content. And we need water, we want to remove impurities, we want warmth when we breathe air in. So by having more surface area through the nasal cavity, that is more advantageous. So let's assume that we're breathing through the nose. Nostrils, of course, are the opening. The opening of the airway is mostly non-keratinized stratified squamous, but by the time we get deeper in, it's pseudostratified columnar. These things you see here, these are the turbinates. You've got 3 on each side, so this is just 1/2. 1, 2, 3. You've got 3 turbinates. The turbinates, this curved shell-shaped bones that are here, they're formed by bones. These 2 are formed by the ethmoid. This is the superior nasal concha. This is the middle nasal concha. And this one is formed by the inferior nasal concha. It's a separate bone. All 3 conchae, all 3 turbinates help further increase surface area. The word turbinate means like a turbine. It means to spin the air. So you're swirling the air with these shell-shaped bone structures with a mucous membrane surrounding it. Our nose, we have 2 nostrils, which means our nose is separated into right and left. And we have that separation because of our nasal septum. I guess we can see that better in this skull one here. The nasal septum, which you can kind of see a little bit here, some of this is broken. The nasal septum is formed by the vomer and the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid. The perpendicular plate is more superior. The vomer is mostly kind of broken here, but it'll be coming in here. The nasal septum formed by the ethmoid perpendicular plate, and the vomer separates the left and right nasal cavities. We also have air circulating into paranasal sinuses, and there are 4 bones that have paranasal sinuses. So these are just further extensions into the bone where there's air pockets. The one that we can see here is on the frontal bone. These air pockets, those are connected with the nasal cavity. This is the frontal paranasal sinus. We have maxillary sinuses over here, which is why you might, if you have a sinus headache, you might feel pain up here or by your cheeks. Frontal, maxillary. You have ethmoid sinuses. This is the ethmoid. Here's the ethmoid, and sphenoidal sinuses. Here's the sphenoid. So those 4 bones have sinuses, which further increase surface area. They're lined by a pseudostratified ciliated columnar. They help sweep out mucus and sweep out debris, and that produces your snot. Fun fact. If we're looking at the mouth, we have a hard palate. The roof of the mouth is called the hard palate, and that's made up of 2 bones. The maxilla and the palatine bones. Maxilla and palatine forms the roof of the mouth / the floor of the nasal cavity. So when you breathe in through your nose, goes through your nostrils into your nasal cavity. You can smell too. You've got olfactory epithelium with those olfactory sensory cells, which are bipolar cells that go to the olfactory bulb, which is hiding over here. And And then it goes to the back of your throat. The back of your throat is called your pharynx. And we need this model to show it. We breathe in through our nose and we reach the back of our throat. This is the pharynx. The pharynx can be divided into 3 sections. The nasopharynx, by the nostrils, by the nose rather. The oropharynx, which is by the mouth. And the laryngopharynx, which is closer to the larynx. So laryngopharynx, oropharynx, nasopharynx. These 3 sections are a little bit different from each other. The nasopharynx has this hole here. That's the auditory tube, which connects to the ears. So we can equalize pressure so that we can hear things. If you go up at really high altitude, your ears pop, or maybe you are really congested. That's maybe because this is blocked up, or the pressure changes have made it hard for you to hear things. You've changed the pressure of your middle ear. That's in your nasopharynx. Your oropharynx has your soft palate and this uvula. So this is the hard palate with the maxilla and palatine bones. Here's a soft palate, and this little thing that sticks down, the thing when you open your throat and you see the thing dangling in cartoons, the thing dangling in the back of your throat, that's your uvula. The uvula helps, say when you're swallowing, prevent stuff from going up your nasal cavity. If you laugh, you're forcing, and you see those videos of people laughing with milk, or maybe you've done it, you've forced food or liquid up your nasal cavity, and food or liquid comes out of your nose. That's because you've bypassed this uvula. The oropharynx, again, has that soft palate, uvula. We're getting to the laryngopharynx, and now we have to make a decision, so to speak. Are we going to breathe air in down to the larynx, this is the larynx, or are we going to swallow food down the esophagus? You'll notice how the esophagus is very collapsed. There's nothing propping open the esophagus. It just relies on these muscles to squeeze food down. The larynx and trachea are propped open with cartilage, which we'll get to in another video. And this structure right here, this is a flap that can cover the larynx if we want to swallow so we don't choke. This is the epiglottis. It's made of elastic cartilage. The respiratory epithelium here at this point also starts producing mucus with goblet cells. Goblet cells, which we would need to see under a microscope, produce mucus, a thick merocrine secretion to help catch particles, because we only want oxygen air coming in. We don't want smoke, we don't want particles, we don't want pathogens. So we have mucus and other things to help catch that, and cilia to help sweep it up. All right, those are some of the features of the upper respiratory system. Take a look at the next video for the lower respiratory system. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.